welcome back. So, Fall of the House of X 1 and 2, not a fan. I will say probably like 50-50 kind of book. I do think that there is a decent understanding of where we're going to go with the story. I think that Gerry Duggan's part of it is not the meat and potatoes of it. I think he just takes a little portion and they go, okay, hey, you got this. And they kind of told him, hey, you got this, you take that, and we're going to get the rest. But he is the X-Men writer. So, I mean, he doesn't like the X-Men. He doesn't like the iteration of the X-Men. He doesn't like masculine characters. And I'm going to go over Wolverine. You'll see that there. Same thing with Wolverine. It's just a thing with masculinity and people like having respect for another person, men especially, like when they're respectful towards each other. That's not there. And it's probably because he doesn't get that. And I really believe that he doesn't understand what a masculine energy probably is, man. So I'm sorry to say that I don't know the guy. He might be a wonderful human being. It may be all of the editors shoving down his throat. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to give you a good understanding of where the writing is missing it. Why he's missing it. Putting this creator on a high tier comic with a high tier idea, I don't get it. Because he doesn't get these characters. I want to bring out the idea of what these comics are. I'm going to be honest. And let's see where it goes. I hope you follow me just because I'm going to be honest with it. I know that that's a thing that everybody gets fooled into thinking. But it's not true. People get angry at stuff because it sells. People make it sound like it's great because it sells. I'm not a person that hates everything, and I'm not a person that's going to love everything. With that being said, let's get into the comic. Fall of the House of X by Gerry Dugan. Dugan. Let me connect you here on the internet plane of existence. Fall of the House of X, #1 by Gerry Dugan. Art by Wernick. And now the art, art is not awful. It's not good. It's just kind of it's better than bad art, and it's not as good as good art. Some of the backgrounds are cool, some of the backgrounds are not cool. It feels very computer animated, computer drawn. It's hard to like really feel the art. The colors kind of muck. The colors are muck, a palette of just like all the same stuff. Marvel has had a tendency now, especially with this X-Men line, to not make things pop, to not put anything unique, anything different. They put the same mold. But we start off in this comic, and you see Cyclops, and he's having a dream about what's going to happen to him at this kangaroo court of a trial, right? He feels like there's no end. For some reason, he thinks they're back in the old West, right? And he has this line, and he's floating, and da-da-da-da-da. I don't think that every idea that Gerry Duggan has is awful. What I do think is that it doesn't feel authentic to this world, to these people, to these characters. A lot of the way that they talk is not the way that I've read the characters and felt that they talk. When it comes down to your leader of the X-Men, he's going to have a certain kind of attitude that goes with him, and they don't nail that. Okay, they nail this like scaredy kind of guy, like he's just a wimp and he's scared and he's getting yelled at by all these guys, and a lot of diversity in that crowd.
Sarcasm?
It's obvious that what's going on is instead of just creating a great story, he wants to create a life lesson
No, I am God, which pretty much makes me better than you.
from right now politics. Now people know that this is not this is nothing new, you know, but if you really thought that it was fake, it's not fake.
Oh, it's happening. It's really happening.
Then I'm showing like look at these are highlights of it. Okay? And I'll show you why as we go through the comic. Two of the more popular characters, kind of the basic um X-Men that you can possibly have, Wolverine, Colossus, two of my absolute favorite. I absolutely love both of them. I love the kindness, the toughness that exists in Colossus. You know, he's this badass dude, great design. I love the way he looks. I love his personality too. He's a very like just nurturing kind of good person, right? Um, Wolverine is just a tough, he's a badass, man. He's not taking shit from anybody, and he's gonna go full force. Now, another thing that I've noticed with Duggan is he cannot, it seems like he's always taking something that's already existed and just throwing it in.
X, you stole it! You stole my idea!
Like, oh yeah, the fastball special, right? That's something. Well, here, I want to do my fastball special. So he puts in his fastball special, okay? And his fastball special is the reverse. We're going to call it the Pinata special.
The hell was that?
Even Mr. Wolverine here agrees with me. Awful, right? Now, Duggan has this way of trying to make jokes. Like, you're not Peter David. Peter David is witty as hell, man. You read some of his books, Hulk, usually you get a Peter David book and he has these little whips back and forth that are funny. And you kind of smile because you go, yeah, I can see that character doing that and saying that, you know. With this, it feels very forced, and it's almost like he looked up a joke on YouTube and was like, oh yeah, this one. Or I don't know. Honestly, I think you might find better ones that way, tell you the truth. Because it just doesn't feel authentic and it doesn't feel like the characters. And then a big part of what's going on with X-Men right now is they're highlighting these constant characters that don't mean anything to anybody that's ever loved X-Men, but they want to get this over on you as it being important. I don't like it. Personally, I look at this, I read this whole thing, and I really tried to like get into this. It wasn't, a lot of people really shit on this, and it's not that. It's not like I read this and wanted to just throw up. I read this and was just like,
It's burning my eyes.
roll my eyes. God, come on. Like, this is the best we can do? We're talking the X-Men. We're talking the X-Men. Premier characters. Like, Marvel's about to put them out into the MCU and create this buzz. But we get Gerry Duggan on this. I don't think that they understand the consequences for their actions. The consequences for their actions are nobody cares.
Is that bad?
It's really bad.
Nobody wants these books and nobody's going to buy them. And I don't mean nobody. There's going to be people that buy this no matter what. There's the collector, that guy that just has to have it. There's the guy that likes every X-Men story. I had a buddy that was on here doing the X-Men. I liked him a lot. Great guy. He had a very upbeat personality, man, and he liked it. And I was almost jealous. I was almost jealous that he liked it because, man, I wish I could just look at things like that. So simple. Who cares? It's no big deal. Story doesn't matter. It's just fun. We got the X-Men back. And that's his mentality. And if you have that mentality, A plus for you. But for me, I dissect stories. I love being told something unique, something interesting. Tell me something that I've never heard before. Show me this adventure that these characters went on so I can like feel that in my mind and like understand it. Show me that. But instead, I get a lot of like these character representations that are not fun. They're not happy, they're not good, they're not anything. They're just like shells. They're shellless, no soul humans. Like this character right here, right? Rasputin, a cool design. I mean, it's a cool design. Yeah, it's a great design, man. Where did they come up with this design? Wow. Holy shit. Let's take Colossus and make it a girl. Wow. Nobody thought of that. That's some unique way of thinking. But this part of the story is like, again, you get into Duggan's stuff and it's not as bad as it looks. Okay. I mean, it's not as bad as it looks. It is as bad as it looks. But if you don't read it and don't really understand what's going on here, you're not going to understand that it's garbage. You know, I have some friends that they collect comics and they don't even read them. They just go through them real fast and say, "Oh, it looks great." And then they argue with you that they're great. And you go, "Well, what's great about it?" Well, they're in cocoa. Well, wait a minute. It's not really hitting on the tail of why this is good. Okay. But anyways, here's the part that's going on. Now, there's another version of this, of the same kind of stuff that's going on. There's Fall of the House of X, and then there's Rise of the Power of X. That one's better. It's not great. It still has its mistakes, which every book does. But anyways, a good part right here. So, um, Wolverine and Colossus are coming into this place to try to rescue our stranded hero. And as they're trying to rescue, they have this plan to phase what the hell was it? Phase somebody in and really like when they tell this, like you just think to yourself, well, why didn't they just phase them in and grab them and jump? Like there's a lot of little things here that you go, well, why didn't you just make this a lot easier? Right? Why did you have to do this, this, and this? Why didn't you just simply do, But anyway, uh, Xavier interrupts as they're on their mission here with his little episode here. And you find out, okay, as you read Rise of the Power of X, some of these little moments are kind of cool, right? He's having this moment here where he's connecting with the timelines and da da da. Pretty cool. It's time. He recognizes, tells Rasputin to bounce. We got other stuff. We're going to fix the whole thing. We're not just going to get one person out. We're going to fix everything. We're not going to fix the one problem. We're going to fix all of them with one swoop, right? So they're sitting here asking for Rasputin. Oh, she's gone, right? So what do? And again, as you read this, you go, okay, all right, okay, kind of cool. Boom, smashes him up against the wall. But he has like, okay, again, when you're a writer, I think, okay, I am trying to write right now. I have books that I'm trying to write, and one day I'm going to present them. And I hope you read it. I hope you buy it. But for right now, when you're telling a story and you don't have your voice for these characters, then you use voices that are understandable, right? Okay. So you nail the character down as far as what they do, how they act with this, and this, even to the bad guys. Now, it's always a dig on these bad guys. They're all just a bunch of idiots for humanity, and they melt his face, right? And they're laughing. The fuck would laugh at that, right? That's some craziness. You gotta be psycho, right? Oh, but they are psycho. It just, again, we get Another one of my absolute favorites. These are my 3 favorite characters on the X-Men right there. Okay. And Nightcrawler is not a killer, man. He's a good guy. He is a Catholic, just like me, which is weird. Why did they figure out the 2 devil-looking characters are going to be Catholic? Okay. I mean, except for the one devil that is actually the devil. But you have Daredevil, which is he's Catholic, and then you get Nightcrawler, and he's Catholic. I don't know what's going on here. Is it some kind of dig? You know? If it is, whatever. It doesn't bother me, but I just think it's a little strange. But anyways, okay, here we go. Now he's mad. I kill them all. Again, I just don't think that Duggan appreciates men. He doesn't appreciate men being men or getting angry at things. Like, you're not allowed to get angry at things. Because the anger, whenever he does somebody angry, it's always some kind of like whippy little weeniness to it. And that's fine. That's your thing. But this is not your thing. This is the X-Men. Even if you're writing them, it's not your X-Men. It's X-Men. Anyways, I digress. Let's move on here before this is 50-hour whine and cry from me. But we get into this. They're at the thing. Obviously, obviously, he's going to lose this. It's all the book stacked against him. He's going to lose. And again, they have taken Mr. Sinister and kind of made him fruity. Everybody in these books, everybody in these books, in these X-Men books, have this real feminine mentality to them. I'm not saying gay, but very feminine. Okay. And tell me I'm wrong. Show me the character that's masculine. Who's the masculine character? Him? No. Him? No. Him? No. Him? Not really. Nope. Not really. Kind of a little B word. Doesn't really stand up for himself. Kind of cries and whines about shit all day. That's not masculine. Krakoa? The tree that now the island of Krakoa can just walk away and be caught. He can be caught with a freaking net. What's going on? Anyways, so this is, if you're writing for a child, this is, oh, it's Krakoa. He's a tree. He shoots amber. Oh, that's pretty funny, right? Pretty sure the tree's saying, fuck you, goodbye. Drops him in the hole. And he's just like, oh man, I gotta bounce. What's going on? You know, whatever, right? It's just more feminization of the men. Let's call it what it is. The one masculine character isn't very masculine. He's now a, what is he, a stay-at-home dad? Right? Well, I'm a stay-at-home dad. Oh man, well, I mean, I'm a single dad, which is a little different, but let's talk about something else. Anyways, I digress. Overall, the characterization is bad. And it's, the thing is also is like this whole Krakoan age, they've bounced back and forth for what these characters stand for, what they are, what the plot lines are, how they're going with them, where they're going with them. Everything's changed left to right, up and down. Everybody has a different thought. There's no architect putting it together. When it started, House and Powers of X was a brilliant move. And there were so many good comic books at that time. It was just a great time to be in there. And that fired me up. That's what got me going. But anyways, I'll have Emma start the comms. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you on the other side, kiddo. Don't die out there. All right. And then she's going through here, kind of connecting the dots, seeing what's going on with everybody, how they're doing, da, da, da. And now these people that are mass murdering killers, or were mass murdering killers. So the masculine character in this, the man, which is like the bad guy man, right? The bad guy, it's a man. He has a huge gun and stuff, right? He gets talked to like he's a little stupid puppy, right? And he's just like a silly, dumb guy. Like, you're just a silly, dumb guy. Like, oh, you're just a silly puppy. Let me pet you on the head, Juggernaut, after you killed thousands of people. Like, oh, you're such a great guy. You know, I have a hard time with it. And then what does he do? Oh, they're in nowhere, flying in nowhere. Like, okay, all right, that's a choice with the brood. Oh, what? I've never heard this storyline. A new one, right? Nope, it's not. And the captain or the guy in charge of the brood is called Brew. That's so funny. His jokes, bad jokes. So I don't really feel like there's too much saving in this book. It is stupid. It's just stupid.
You're very, very stupid.
The tale, if I have nothing better to read and I read this and I don't know anything about the X-Men, if I know nothing and I've never picked up an X-Men book, I've never discovered what these characters can be, and I'm reading this, I feel sad. I just feel sad reading this. Like, nobody is pleasant. There's not one person in this book that's pleasant. Okay? Tell me the one that is. Tell me. I like to know. So that was that book. All right. Fall of the House of X, Part 2. We start with Polaris. She took off, went and got nowhere, landed on the celestial head. She's flying it in on the head, and it's pretty much the Guardians of the Galaxy, but reversed, and the brood's on it. Did nobody like? It's again. It's these. I don't. It might be a very hard thing to do. Write comics. It may be. Like, it really may be a very hard thing to do. I've never been in this man's shoes. But if you're going to write a comic, have an idea that's original.
This really wasn't an original idea.
But it's just my thoughts here. You have all these very unique characters, but all of them sound the same. All of them are whiny. All of them are very, very, very feminine. Polaris is the most masculine person on this whole group. And she comes on there as the hero. So you go and attack them, and you decide this evil alien group where you're just going to ravish and kill everybody is the way to do it. It's probably one of the most evil things you could ever do. All right? And there's moments and there's books where this is acceptable. But this is your flagship characters. These are the X-Men. Your premier, top of the line book. And you decided to feminize it and make the women masculine. It's like, it's a joke. It's all a joke. Everything in this book is a joke to this guy. And if it isn't a joke, then he's just a complete asshole. That's all I'm going to say. He's an absolute asshole. Or he's just writing this as a joke. So, anyways, there's taglines and storylines on this that aren't bad. Like I said, there was no bad ones. Like, there's not terrible ones. But here we go. Here we go. The man, he's trapped, right? And what does the guy say? Or what does he kind of come off? Like, they're just clowning on him. Oh, he's small, right? Like, a height joke, right? Like it's again, this is Jerry Duggan's humor is, pee pee jokes and poo poo jokes. And he says, Bub, I'm Bob. Bub. Eh. Is that very masculine? It's not. I'm sorry. It's not. It's psychotic, right? Wolverine's tough. He's a badass. He's not psychotic. He's not a loony in the head and just wants to rip everything's guts out. He has had moments like that where he gets berserker rage and stuff like that. That's different. But he's not normally just a freaking absolute psycho. He's calculating. He makes the right move. He usually does the right thing. The good thing, the thing that's good. The thing that people don't want to do, but it's still good, Let's move on. So they're attacking from inside. Brood's on board. It's eating everything, just destroying everything. And they're just kind of making these little whips back and forth and talking about how great Emma is. By the way, Orca's coffee is shit. Like, what? Somebody, let me tell you right now, somebody somewhere is dying of laughter over this joke. Okay? Somebody somewhere is dying of laughter over this joke. Because they're not writing this book for us. They're writing these books for their friends. Okay. Now, the artist, you could tell, loves these characters, or at least cares about these characters. He draws them, kind of how you would imagine them being. Like, they're tough, they're fighting, they're, blah, blah, blah. And now I can hear the artist reading, or could you imagine him reading this? Okay. So, the two tough guys, the badasses in this, are going to be Polaris. Now, Polaris is going to take the brood, and she's just going to kill everybody with the brood, right? And the guy's like, okay, all right, yeah, I got you. And then he's like, okay, then you know what we're going to do? We're going to take the White Queen, and we're going to have her take two guys by leashes and fuck their brain up so bad that they're going to think they're dogs. Isn't that fucking so cool? The guy's like, oh, yeah, great. He's like, how many pages? How much money do I get per page? Maybe I should redo this thought here, Because it's, why? Why? What's the gain? What are you gaining? There's no gain in doing that. Except for making her look like she's psycho. Like she's twisted in her brain. Like she's just, like, these are not the X-Men. These are wacko, But here's Krakoa. They're going to go help Krakoa. He's a tree now that can run away. All right. Here is the actual masculine character. We have stasis trapped in orbit. We need to neutralize more high-value targets. Where are Myra and Dr. DeVoe? Okay. He's a masculine character. Kind of. Not in a good way. Okay. Not a good masculine character. Toxic masculine character. Here's another toxic masculine character. This manifold guy. And in this thing he's dreaming, he punches her in the face, and it's Oblivion, right? And oh wait, no, it was just a dream. Why? I mean, I don't. I don't think that these are character choices. I think this is like, this is happening, and I don't care who does it. This is happening. Have you ever seen those moms that, like, or like dads or whatever it is, when they're in court and they're fighting for a house, right, or something? They're fighting for something in court, and they're like, you know what? We're going to go for everything. I'm going to go 100%. I want to win the house, the kids, the car, everything. I'm going to go for everything. And then the court's probably going to give me half, right? But I have to at least try to go for everything. Okay? That's like what they did here on the X-Men. They're like, hey, we're going to get every feminized gay, so gay, everything. Everything. And they're going to stop us and they're going to say, you can only do this. But instead, they said,
can you give us any more?
Dude, that was brilliant, you know? And then nobody grabbed the reins and said, hey, no, these aren't the characters. The storyline itself, the plan that they have going on here is very basic. I mean, it's like attack bad guy fights back, we lose, we try to get another timeline where we catch them and then win that one and that, and it's like very simple and basic structure of the story. It's very basic in structure. The tale that's been told a million times, and sometimes it can be told in a way that grabs your attention. So, once you realize the story itself is pretty basic, then how you write a good story is you compel me with these characters and the way they interact with each other in a way that's like, oh, yeah, I could, like, this is a cool, fun thing. I like it, But this isn't that book. This is just definitely not that book. So, ultimately, we have a book that somebody doesn't like these characters. Or I'm missing the boat. I'm just not understanding how great it is.
You don't know shit.
Please tell me if that's the case and explain to me why and how. I just pointed out and showed as I went through this book the parts and the areas where you can see that this is not how the X-Men act. Tell me and show me that I'm wrong. Okay? Explain to me. And I'll get it, man. Trust me. I'll go to your side. You can pull me that way, I'll go that way. So, anyways, this was The Fall of the House of X 1 and 2. This was the book. Thank you so much. Wonderful day.